Today's video is not for the algorithm. This is for my subscribers, and especially regular viewers who have been watching my videos. Today's video is for you. I have alluded to the fact that I've been thinking over the last couple of weeks around what I can do to sort of fill the needs of this community of women and help them through this season of life. And obviously, I've had ideas like swirling around in my head. And instead of trying to just come up with something myself and figure it all out on my own, I thought I would see if you had any thoughts or ideas and to see what you think about it. So here's where I'm at. It has become very clear to me that GenX women who are in pretirement or want to be in pretirement, or who are feeling exhausted, burnt out, want to pivot, want to have more joy in their life, want more quality connections in their life, et cetera, et cetera. More and more of us are longing for and craving community, that we want to connect with like-minded women. And this has been validated on several of my social media platforms, along with live in real life conversations that I've been having with you and with my friends and my closest circle and my, the people that I interact with on a daily basis. And what's come up is friendships change and evolve through our life and through different seasons of our lives. And sometimes when we're facing big hurdles, or when we're facing a crossroads or a transition, or we're just really struggling in the depths of something, sometimes those closest to us are not necessarily the best people to help us and to connect with us and to sort of help us pull out of that, or help us make the change, or help us make the pivot, for lots and lots of different ideas, lots of different reasons. I mean, sometimes I remember when I first started, the first time I left corporate America, which was in my late 30s, I think, late 30s, early 40s. I remember talking to some friends and family about it beforehand, and I got a lot of negative reaction, a lot of, well, what are you going to do, and how are you going to make money, and what happens if it doesn't work, and how are you going to make your mortgage, and like all the fears that came with it. And so it was difficult during those times of pivot, because sometimes the people around you haven't yet caught up to the new you. Like, they don't yet know that you've changed, evolved, that you have a new perspective, that you have new goals, that you feel differently on the inside. They're still treating you the way they've always known you and the way they've always treated you. So sometimes that's difficult. So I find that it helps to have connections with people who are going through similar life seasons, or might be like a little bit ahead of you in their journey. And you can reach out, you can support, you can share experiences, you can feel seen and validated and know that you're not alone. There's a lot of benefit to that. And the reason why I know that I'm not alone in feeling this way is, when I started putting out on Threads that I wanted to have these monthly GenX virtual coffee chats for women, I've had a huge response, and we've had decent turnout, and we've had great conversation, and so many more women that put their name on the invite list. So the invite list, I have hundreds of women on the invite list for our coffee chats. And so obviously there's a longing or a desire to have conversation with other like-minded women and to go through some of this together. Also, with the workshop that I gave last week, I've received great feedback from that as well. Even those that didn't attend live and watched the replay afterwards and then did the work while they were listening to the replay, I got great feedback about how it sort of helped them recenter and refocus and get started on what they were going to do next. And I felt like there would be an advantage to more ongoing support. So instead of just like getting each other started and getting each other like recentered, that there was some sort of an ongoing relationship to help guide through that journey, like a group coaching kind of a scenario, but more of a peer mentorship kind of a thing. So I've been thinking that I want to start a community. I want to start a membership community that could take a lot of different forms. We could have regular virtual connections, and the regular virtual connections could be different types of things. There could be some that are like a little more formal, where we're actually diving into a topic and learning something, or we could have guest speakers on a topic come in. And then there could be some virtual connections that are a little more informal, similar to the coffee chats that I've been doing, where the purpose is literally just to chit chat and hear each other's stories and share your own and that kind of thing. So there would be ongoing events like that going on. But then I also want like a real life and in real life IRL component of this community also. So I don't know if that means that maybe there's an annual retreat, or maybe there's meetups in different cities, especially since I'm 100% nomadic, I could, plan my travels around that and sponsor different meetups in different areas of the country. And then I'm thinking, well, how would, what would work? Like, I think that when we have virtual chats and personal chats, I think it helps to have a small-ish group, like 8 to 10 at the most. And it's good to have the repeat people that are showing up for that. So for example, with the monthly coffee chats, the cool thing about it is the actual experience of it in the moment, the conversation, the stories, the connection that's happening live. The not as cool thing is it hasn't always been the same. There's like a couple of people who have repeated. And other than that, people like come and go and come to the ones, that they can or whatever. So there's a part of me that thinks, well, if we could had a time that people would commit to, small groups of people. So maybe I do several sessions, and maybe you sign up for the Tuesday chat or the Thursday chat, and you're sort of like committing to that small group of people, so that you can get to know each other and get to know each other's stories. And I think the conversations would become deeper and more meaningful. And with the education component, it would be similar to the types of experts and guests that I've highlighted on my podcast. In fact, I could revisit some of my podcast guests and ask if they would be interested in, attending a live session with our group, because I've had experts on. I had a social gerontologist on, so she was an expert at, aging, caregiving, solo aging. I've had a few different financial experts on about planning and setting up retirement. I've had career experts on. I've had experts and doctors on menopause and perimenopause. I've had a couple of dating coaches and love and relationship experts. And I mean, there's been a lot of people that I've connected with, fitness, health, weight loss, all the things. I've had experts in all these different areas, and maybe sort of bringing them in and having like a little live Q&A with our membership might be kind of a cool thing. I don't know. And my mind and my ideas obviously are just going all over the place. And I can envision what I would love it to be, but it's really kind of up to you. So I'm curious For those of you where my topics and my conversations have been resonating with you and you're feeling like, yes, that's me, I get it. If you want to figure out a way to navigate this pretirement with other women, I need your feedback. I need your feedback in the comments. I'd love to hear, does the community, anything that I described about the community, does it appeal to you? What appeals to you? What ideas does it spark for you? Is this something you would consider? Now, I'm not selling it right now, so I don't want you to feel that way. I'm in the research phase of trying to figure out, what do people want? What would be most helpful? What would fill the need? And like all of that, everything that I described excites me. I would love to build this and I would love to pull this together. I would love to be the facilitator of it. It is a topic and a mission very close to my heart. But I would really love to get more insight and more feedback. I've asked my entrepreneurial friends, but my entrepreneurial friends are not necessarily in our demographic. They don't necessarily have the lifestyle that we all have and the various versions of the lifestyle that we all have. So they're not necessarily the audience that this community would be for, which is why I thought I would just bring it right to you. So what do you think? Like, does it sound interesting? Is that something you would want to be a part of? And what would you like to see from it? And what would you like to get from it? I just asked a lot of questions. If you want to answer any of those questions, I would really, really appreciate it. And if you need to think about it and come back, that's awesome too. But I look forward to reading your thoughts. Again, my name is Amy Palmer. I am your Gen X big sister, signing out.